will begin in 1 minute. Practice live part of the day.
Welcome to finals day for the men's and women's action here at the National Curling Championships 2025 here in Naseby, New Zealand. And we're on Sheet C. It's Team Johns v Team Armstrong, 1v2 in action. And then over on Sheet B, it is Team Curl Jam against Team Williams. So, first end, and they're all stacking the one line here on Sheet C. Team Armstrong in their familiar fishing shirts, the catfish. And Sam Williams with his next shot. Looks like a real grouping around that button there. I reckon there'd be maybe just yellow holding shot at the moment. Nothing in it. Over on Sheet B, Team Williams v Team Curl Jam. In the first end also. So Steve Johns here. So a few stones to throw here. Looking like just trying to squeeze this by. And just protect that side of the button. So slightly exposed, but they've got that catcher at the back. It looks like Team Armstrong might try to clear this one out. Okay. So down to the skips. Stones all gathered around that button. Yellow holding at the moment. Team Johns just trying to protect that one shot, although they could potentially get the run back here. They've cleared out that yellow, so again left the button open for a nice little draw here. They will have the hammer. Team Johns. It'll be Tanner Davis having a crack here. What can Tanner Davis do here? To hit the broom, just draw one in there, in behind those red stones. And give me a big sweep now from Steve. So a lot of conferencing going on here on both sheets. Looks like Team Curl Jam winning that first end and picking up 3 shots in sheet B. Here on sheet C, there's a lot of chat about what to do next. A lot of strategizing. Yeah. So it is Team Johns holding at the moment, but 1 shot. And looks like Team Armstrong will just try and set up a guard here. And it's going to pull up short of the hog line, so opportunity here, rare miss indeed. Well, what a treat it is today to have the Ugboot curler himself, Nathan Francie, on the mic with me, Andrew Swain. So, Nath, thanks for joining me, mate.
Anytime, Andrew.
And this is a real treat because we curled together in Queensland, And we're seeing some real high-quality curling going on right now here on Sheet C between Team Johns and Team Armstrong.
There sure is. And there's a couple of Queenslanders out there as well, in Derek Smith from the Gold Coast and Sam Williams from Mount Tamborine.
There you go. Very much places that you don't associate with curling, and that's a lovely shot there from Tanner Davis. Looks like they might pick up two. Two for Team Johns, so off to a flyer.
Yeah, it's a good start for Team Johns. You do want to score two when you've got the hammer there.
And that's exactly what they've done. So you've played against a few of these guys over the course of this tournament. What have you made of it? What have you made of the performances? What have you learnt yourself, do you think, watching these guys in action?
That they're good curlers. That's what I've learned. Yeah, no, they've definitely been the best two teams all tournament. Obviously finishing 1 and 2. Team Johns going through undefeated.
Yeah.
And Team Armstrong only dropping that one game in the round robin to Team Johns.
And it's been outstanding to watch. I mean, they're the best of the best here in Australia. And that's the perfect start there for Team Johns. But strategy-wise, now, you said to me just then, you don't know much about strategy, but I think you do. I think you're holding out on me a little bit. So I was talking to Perry yesterday about that two shot advantage when you have the hammer. Like you want to try and get a couple of shots, pick those up. So that's exactly what Team Johns have done here.
Yeah, if you've got the hammer, you definitely want to be scoring two. If you don't score two with the hammer, if you only score that one, it's a win for the other team.
Yeah, gotcha.
If you've got hammer, you want to score that two. You kind of leave it open for yourself to have a nice draw into the button to score your second shot there.
Hugh Milliken, the godfather himself.
So they'll just drag this one into the house there, and they'll make Team Armstrong chase that. Being in the house, Team Armstrong can knock it out.
And that one just biting the edge of that red circle there. Over on sheet B, it was a good start from Team Curl Jam. 3 in that first.
Yeah, good 3 for them there with the hammer. Looks like they're playing the same strategy on that sheet as well.
Just draw one in and then make the other team make the play. Is that kind of the strategy?
Well, that's what it looks like Team Johns is doing here, but Armstrong is called a corner guard. So they're just going to put something out the front there and try and hide behind it later in the end.
Okay. How have you enjoyed it, mate? Have you enjoyed being in Naseby? You've been here for quite a few days because you were here on the Saturday before the tournament started on the Thursday.
Yeah.
So you've got quite a few days in.
Yes, came over for a bit of practice. Obviously, being from Queensland, we don't have the best ice over there, so it's good to come over a bit early and get some practice in on the real curling ice. And
you and Joe Robbins are going to be in action in the mixed doubles a little bit later in the week. Well, that starts tomorrow, does it? Or today?
I don't know. You'll have to tell me what day it is.
It's I think it's Monday.
It's Monday. Lose track of time here in this quiet town of Naseby, but
I was going to say, how good is it to not have to think about what day it is?
It is nice, but yes, that mixed doubles, it will start on, games will start on Wednesdays with the pre-tournament practices on tomorrow.
Awesome.
Also live streamed, so
yeah.
For all our viewers out there, please continue to watch the mixed doubles, more exciting curling action.
I'll be going home on Wednesday, so someone else is going to have to jump on here.
I'm sure we can get Bruce Freshwater back on the mic for the viewers at home.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll give you a couple more ends. What do you reckon? And then get Brucey on there. Yeah. Oh, that's great that you're in action through the whole couple of weeks of the national championships there, Nath.
Yeah, it's a lot of curling when we come over here. It's almost more curling than we do in a whole year in Brisbane.
I was going to say, we've probably thrown more stones as the Curlews, thrown more stones this week than we have ever, collectively curling. So it's been a massive learning curve, but being from Queensland, you're right, it's quite the privilege to be here.
It is, and that is what most people say in their first year at Nationals. Their body, it feels it. The amount of rocks we're throwing, the amount of sweeping we're doing, it is a tough sport on the body.
Absolutely, mate. We had to go jump up in Coal Pit Dam earlier this week just to get recovery.
Yeah,
in.
bit cold up there.
I reckon the water was probably it was definitely sort of below 5 degrees.
Yep.
So that's a proper ice bath.
That is a proper ice bath. Good for the recovery, though.
Oh, yeah. The pins felt fresh. Didn't help us with our curling so much. But very, very good on the recovery. And so, yeah, how have you managed to keep yourself pieced together?
Just a lot of stretching and some good food.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. The food is good here in Naseby. That's been one of the features of this commentary through the whole National Championships has been the commentary on Naseby's food here, as just looking to get a tick on that yellow.
Derek sweeping hard on that one to try and get it out. So it looks like they were trying to just clear the house there. Having the hammer, the red rocks, Team Armstrong there are, if they're not going to score their 2 points, they might look to just try and blank this end and leave nothing in the house at the end so that they can keep the hammer for the next end and try and score that 2 in the third.
Right, okay. So that's a decision that you probably have to make fairly soon in the end?
Yeah, before there's too many rocks in the house there, so it looks like Milliken's just going to throw one onto the other side of the house there and just what we call split the house. That makes that double takeout quite difficult for the next thrower of Team Armstrong. It's
essentially, if you're talking in 10-pin bowling parlance, a 7-10 split situation, right?
Yeah. That's
make
good.
It hard for...
Make it hard for them.
Yeah.
And it's just coming up a little short there, so Armstrong might draw around that one now. Looks like that's the call.
Hugh just looking back towards the gallery there. It's definitely high pressure this environment now in these finals.
It is 90% mental game curling. Everyone can make that shot, but it's when the pressure's on, can you do it?
Absolutely. You're right, the physical element is absolutely there, but the mental capacity to actually pull off that shot, get the slide right, get your technique right. It looks like...
Got a curl. Derek's getting ready to sweep that one and curl it around just to bury it behind that guard. Wants it to go. Oh, it's just going to hang out there. Might be a quarter of a rock there for Johns to see.
Okay. And Hugh Milliken he's
asking Steve if he can see that rock from the hack there. If you can see it, then there's a good chance you can hit it.
Such precision from these teams today. And talk to me, so the mixed doubles competition, there's 11 teams, I believe?
There is.
11 teams. So is that one of the biggest tournaments ever we would have seen here at the Nationals?
It's definitely the biggest one I've seen. My first year here, there was only 3 teams.
Right.
And then the year after that, there was only 2.
We met your competitors on that 2-team tournament last night. Di Natalia, they're here, the Australian representatives.
Yes, the bronze medalists from the latest mixed doubles world championships.
Yeah. They did so well in that World Championships.
They're on some good form. They're going to be very hard to beat this week.
It's a very collegiate atmosphere here. It was quite the catch up with everyone last night at the pub here at Naseby.
Yeah, it was good.
Bede, the publican, left the pub open for everyone.
He did. They do love having all the Australians over here in Naseby. It's good business for the pub, especially when you're the only one in town.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Team Johns has just accidentally peeled their own guard there by the looks of it. So now Armstrong's just going to try and split the house, as we say. Just trying to draw across, maybe sit in front of that yellow one.
So, right, would you say that was probably a mistake?
Yeah, Johns was going for that tight line to try and knock out that red one sitting on the 4-foot.
But just a little narrow?
A little narrow, caught his own guard and opened it up there for Armstrong.
Okay. So there it is.
So now red's sitting 2 and Team Johns will have to chase these ones. Just trying to knock out that red shot and roll across to sit in probably in the 4-foot. I think is the call.
Okay.
Steve Johns with his old school slide, lifting up the rock before he releases.
Yeah, that is old school, isn't it? That's cool to watch. It's just going to, try and roll it to the right.
Makes the hit and rolls across, just rolling a little too far.
Yeah. Wanted it probably ideally to just sit in front of that red stone, correct?
Yeah, you still want to be counting shot there. Just sitting in front of that red, and then you just try and bump that red out with your next shot.
So now, is it Dustin will probably try and call again to split the house? Is that what you're calling here, or is he going to try and freeze it on the...
Yeah, this one he's probably going to try and come and... Well, he's going to have a chat to his team about what they want to throw.
Here we go.
But he might just try and come and draw across and freeze on that yellow one, just to try and make that red one a little safer, and stop Team Johns from just punching it out the back of the house.
Yeah.
Having a chat to Sam Williams, who is the one throwing this rock.
He's the Queenslander?
He is.
Mount Tambourine, did you say?
Mount Tambourine. Family's got a good coffee plantation up there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I tell you, I like a good coffee. I'm sipping on one from the Naseby General Store right now. So he knows coffee.
He does. Also a very keen curler before these nationals. Flew over to Canada for 3 months for a bit of practice.
3 months?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's commitment, all right.
It is.
That's the play.
They are very dedicated this year, really, really going hard for that win. And yep, that's the call there. So Armstrong's just tapping in front of that yellow stone. So Sam will throw this one down and just put it in that nice little pocket there between the red and the yellow.
What I have noticed today so far, just in only the end and 3/4 that we've witnessed, is a lot more strategizing, a lot more chat, a lot more conferencing between the teams. Obviously, the time limit is ticking down up there at the end, up on the wall, but these teams don't look like they're too concerned with that. They just want to make sure they get every stone right, make every shot count.
Yeah, that's it. And they're sweeping hard on this one. They're a bit worried it might pull up short or curl a little bit too much, but it looks okay. Easing off on the sweep now. That's a pretty good shot there from Sam. Oh, it does leave that double open though. It just tapped that yellow one a little bit too far. And Tanner looking at it very closely to see if he can move both those reds without bumping a yellow.
So to do that, would probably try and clip it on the high side, or right on the nose.
Just want to get it on that high side. Probably, maybe a quarter of a rock on the high side.
Okay.
Right where Hughes got his broom there.
Mm-hmm.
And that should kick that one on the top, right, sitting on the tee line. Pump that out left, and anything on that back one, and it'll go out the back of the house. These rocks do move quite easily if you get any taps on them.
It's not quite like Boondall, is it? Yeah.
It's not like at home, no. Those rocks.
We're very grateful for any ice time that we get at Boondall and what have you, but it is like playing on Lords here, isn't it?
It is. This is the holy grail of Australian curling.
Yeah, in New Zealand.
Yeah, make that make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Down under curling. Love it. It is a wonderful place, as Tanner
going hard, needed it to curl. Matt working hard. Yeah, it's just not going to move it enough, I don't think. Hugh sweeping hard. No, it's still sitting one red. Yellow's in a good position here though, but Dustin's just going to put one back there to still sit two with hammer.
Yeah, so you want to move that yellow rock where they're holding their brooms around at the moment, and then essentially sit your red stone there and hold two.
Yeah, they probably don't want to move that yellow one too much, because if they move it too much, then Team Johns can just bump that red out. If they sit in front of it, just freezing on it, then that'll make that hard for Johns to knock out.
Gotcha. Looks like on sheet B we've leveled things up. It looked like 3 red there. We'll just wait for the score confirmation. But it looked like 3 red.
It's 3 red over there. That'll tie things up, make it 3 all.
3 apiece on sheet B between Team Williams and Team Curl Jam.
Yeah, we just got confirmation there. It was 3 red, so we've got 3 all over there.
Oh, and getting towards the business end of this second end here on Sheet C between Team Armstrong and Team Johns, and Team Armstrong with the hammer. And the way it's playing out could level things up here too, with some good shots.
It could. The way they're sitting, they'll be disappointed if they don't score 2 on this end.
Mate, how was your trip over here? Did you come via Queenstown or did you fly into Dunedin? It's a bit of a hard place to come.
Yeah, it is at this time of year, but obviously it's a winter sport, so that's when we're here. But yeah, no, flew direct Brisbane to Queenstown. So
yep.
One flight, not too bumpy. Landing was a bit rough.
It's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty good to be able to come to Queenstown. This one getting a big sweep from everyone. It's just left it slightly open, hasn't it?
They will be sitting to it. It looks like Tom just said to Hugh that he might have burnt that rock, and Hugh's allowing it to stay in the spirit of curling.
Okay. All right, touched it.
Yeah, he might have just given it a little tap with his broom there, but generally if you touch the rock, you tell the other team. And then if it doesn't have any effect on the rock, they'll allow it to stay. Obviously, if you move the rock, then the other team has the decision whether they want to put it back or pull the stone, depending on where it was burnt.
Sure. Guess we're getting to pretty high stakes games here, but that one was probably just a tap of some description.
Yeah, it didn't have any effect on the stone. It looked like it had already stopped before Tom hit it. It's 20 kilos of granite. It does take a lot to move it.
Particularly with a light graphite broom.
Yes.
Yeah. Now this Tanner's broom that he uses to slide, or his slider to use, what's the situation there? Can you explain it to the people at home? It's obviously very different looking. It's a specific type of slider, I guess.
Yeah. So it's called a corn broom.
Yep.
So back in old school curling days, that's what brooms were made out of. Obviously now we've got our WCF approved brooms. So Tanner has electrical taped up his corn broom because that will damage the ice if it's not covered up. But
gotcha.
it's just the way that Tanner slides out so low. The old Manitoba tuck.
Yeah, gotcha.
It just helps him stay balanced now, having that corn broom out in front of him rather than the traditional broom out to the side.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's. I mean, I haven't seen anyone else using something like that in this tournament, so it's just interesting to watch.
Yeah, and those are the different styles of sliding, I suppose, that we have in this curling. As we mentioned before, Steve Johns lifting the rock up before he slides out of the hack.
Yeah.
Tanner with his corn broom. Different parts of Canada have those different techniques, and they learn them from when they're young, and they stick with them all through. Brilliant.
You do watch. I was sort of looking through world rankings and things last night. There's a lot of Canadian flags.
There sure is. It's big over there.
It's big in Canada. Okay, so down to this hammer.
And Dustin just looking to move that yellow rock that's sitting in the 8 foot on the left and get a nice little roll into the 4 foot to score 2. Or might just be trying to draw for 2. Yeah, it's just a draw. Now they get on it hard.
Needs a sweep.
Anything on that red 4 foot?
Oh, it's not going to quite get there, is it?
Oh, it will. It's just on that 4 foot. That'll be a score for 2 red. To tie things up here on sheet C as well.
Wow. Can't split any of the teams out here in the finals.
It's good. It's exciting to watch.
They're pumped too, Team Armstrong. I saw them out there when we played against them do the old 1, 2, 3. I don't know what they actually say, but
I'll tell you off air.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. Not suitable for PG audience, maybe.
Yeah, not at this time of day. It might be in the after dark session with
Right,
Phil.
right, okay. Right, okay. Curling after dark. There you go. There's something in that. Phil Goshnick, you were part of Team Goshnick. We sent our wishes out to George. Hope he's going all right.
Yeah, Georgie had a bit of an injury out there, but he's in good spirits, asking how we've still been going, but it's been a tough week playing with 3, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you're having to throw your stone and sweep it a lot of the time, are you? And that just adds that extra element of physicality to the sport.
It does, getting up, chasing your own rocks, but it's been good practice for mixed doubles.
Oh, yeah.
So that's generally the strategy in mixed doubles, is you sweep your own rocks, or at least I do. So it's been a nice warm up. That's what we've been using it as, a nice warm up for mixed doubles.
Excellent. We had a tight game against the Curlers. Had a tight game against Team Goshnick. I think it was 9-6 in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did finish 9-6. I think you guys had us up 4-0 after the second end, so it was very tight. A nice Q clash, as we were calling it.
The Q clash. That's right.
Battle of the Queensland Curlers. There's got to be a movie in there somewhere.
I think so. I think we can definitely sort that out as Hugh Milliken delivers his first stone in this third end. St. John's with the hammer. 2 apiece. Just looking to just bite one in.
Just a little corner guard out there. Armstrong's first centre guard just overcurled a little bit. You really want to sit it on that centre line. They're just going to draw behind the one they've just thrown out.
Three between Team Williams and Team Curl Jam. Your mixed doubles partner Jo is part of Team Curl Jam.
She is, yes.
Not on the ice today though, is she?
Not on the ice in this game.
In this game,
might come in for the next game. They've been rotating through their players to try and save some of that energy.
Oh yeah.
All but one of that team playing in the mixed doubles comp as well. So they've come in with 5 to save some energy and just reduce the load on their bodies. It might be a good call.
So this one just trying to get in behind that red stone, just get a bit of protection. They've probably left about half a rock out there. So Hugh Milliken will have a look at that. Is that what he's trying to do here?
It looks like he might not be too upset if he taps it, but it looks like with that ice call, he might just be coming in behind it. Or they might change their plan mid-sweep. Now they're curling hard, so it looks like they're going for that.
It's going to just stay too straight by the looks of things.
It is going to stay too straight, and that's going to go through the house. You'll be disappointed with that, Matt. Matt Panucci there, throwing second rocks for Team Johns.
So it leaves the door open. Just a little creak.
And it looks like they're going to... No, they've changed their mind. Just getting some comments from the crowd up here saying it's a bit hot in the spectators area.
Oh, is it? Warm. Yeah, look, I know, you've got all the Queenslanders are up here at the moment, so it's definitely hot.
It is.
You know, there's heat in the kitchen.
Compared to the usual about 7.2 degrees inside the ice rink.
It is warm.
Having a good chat to the ice maker yesterday about all the temperatures that they try and keep everything out.
Reese, he's the man, isn't he?
He is. Reese comes down from Dunedin for us and prepares us some of the best ice in the world.
Oh, was this one going to make it over the hog line? Just. Nope.
No,
burnt.
Didn't make it. Just hogged that one there, Tom Bentz.
So a couple of little errors, probably from both teams. Everyone's just...
Yeah. It's just those final nerves coming in.
Looks like it.
Game 1 of the best of 3 final series.
Third end. So early on in the piece, but just a few nerves.
It's a big game. You always want to win this first finals game, put the pressure on the other team. And try and get the clean sweep, get the finals done in 2, and have tomorrow off.
So Matt Panucci looking to just maybe try and take out this back red. They're trying to keep it straight, and it looks a pretty good line.
That is a good sweep there. If they get that roll across behind that yellow, that is a very good shot there from Matt.
Nailed it.
Absolutely. Very, very happy with that. Team Johns moved that red one and buried it behind your own guard.
So in this situation, you know, couple of errors, couple of back-to-back errors from both teams, you know, not their best rocks, but that's a confidence booster right there.
That is. That makes you feel a lot better about this end. It doesn't take much in curling for an end to change. One missed rock, and it really does create opportunities for the other team.
Oh, we know that firsthand, big time. There's a couple of times we were holding shot and whatever, and then it turned into a 5. Yeah. It's like, oh no.
Changes very quickly. And now Dustin's calling a double takeout here. Wants to move the guard and the yellow sitting in the house. Be looking with an open house here. They'll be looking to force Team Johns just to score that one, what we call a force, which would be a win for Armstrong if they can keep Johns to 1 in this end. That's just overcurling a little bit. They're going to move that guard.
So moved the guard, but didn't quite get the double.
Didn't quite get it. Now Hugh having to think about what to do, whether they put one behind the red guard or cover up their yellow. And they're just going to come in behind that red one. They don't mind leaving that yellow one out wide.
Hugh calling the shots. So Matt Panucci with his second shot. And just going to try and draw one in behind that red stone. Looks a little narrow.
A little narrow, a little wide. They're working hard on it here. Tanner is a power sweeper. Steve Johns going hard as well.
Just trying to sneak it past that red. It's actually not narrow at all. It's perfect.
It's going to sneak past. Working hard to curl it around now.
But it's still left just a little exposed, hasn't it?
It is. Probably got maybe a little more than half a rock there for Sam Williams to see from that hack. Dustin's having a good look at it.
Is that what you call a little honeypot, trying to, just a little tempter?
It is. It is.
You try and move it, or do you try just do something else?
Well, they're talking through their options here. If it's me, I'd probably just come around and draw behind it. It'd be a pretty hard run back there for Team Johns. Dustin's looking at moving it and rolling across to that other yellow. Looking at all the angles. If they throw a good weight here, it is a possible double. It's a hard double, but they could get both those yellows out of the house.
As in, you want to get you clip it on the edge and then a cross house double almost.
Yeah, if you hit the right amount of that yellow stone hidden behind that guard, you could get your shooter to roll across and move the yellow. That's currently in the house as well.
Wow. Okay, that would take some sort of shot. Here he is, Sam.
That's the line. Just got to get the weight right.
Is he going to sneak past?
Sweeping to keep it straight. He's got it past. He gets that one.
Oh, well
and
done.
He's tapped it. That's a very good shot from Sam Williams.
Well done. Applause all round up here.
The crowd's gone wild for that shot. That changes the end for Team Armstrong.
A big ooh and ah up here.
That's what you learn at Boondall, Andrew.
Oh, you do. All the big plays. And that one is a big play. Great shot. Sam would be pretty happy with himself standing in the back there right now.
He would be just admiring his own shot.
He's just admiring his handiwork. Steve Johns.
Now just looking to bury one back behind that red guard. Hopefully get it a little more hidden. No sweepers. Might jump on it late to curl it. And Tanner's going now.
Again, it's just leaving it slightly open, isn't it?
Just sitting right on that tee line. It is there.
Can lightning strike twice in the same spot here?
Might just try and throw a draw and freeze on that yellow. If they can freeze on that, they'd probably be sitting shot. Maybe just give that yellow a little tap. Very difficult here for Sam, going from throwing that great heavyweight takeout to now having to pull it back to a draw weight.
It's like, is it like having to, bowl an outswinger to an in-swinger, that kind of thing, or, just you're having to adjust a fair bit of your technique around?
Yeah, it's if I can use golf as an analogy, it's like hitting a full 5-iron and then from 250 out, and then just having to pull it back and just hit a half 5-iron from 150 out.
And that's exactly what he's done. Has moved that yellow stone.
He's tapped the yellow and the red's sitting shot. Has left a little bit of an opportunity there for Johns to come around and just bump that red out the back and maybe roll across and hide behind the guard as well to sit 2.
Yeah, it's a full stone, isn't it? Sitting in front, that red. So the roll is important on this one.
Tanner's sweeping hard.
And he will get the roll here by the looks of things.
He does.
Yeah, beautiful. So we're seeing some high quality curling here. High quality.
Very high quality. Now Dustin might look at coming around and just sitting in front of that one. Not sure how much of it they can see from the hack. It looks pretty buried. We've had a score of 1 for yellow over on sheet B. So that's curl jam.
Sitting 4-3 in the 4th end.
Team Williams will be okay with that, forcing curl jam into 1 with hammer. And they'll be looking to score 2 on this end to take the lead back 5-4. And also having the hammer in the even ends. That's what they want.
So plenty of conferencing happening here on sheet C.
It is. Umpires this week very generous with our time clock, giving us 2 hours 40. Just allowing the teams there to have a bit more thinking time.
Is that normal?
No.
No? No? Normally a bit faster?
It is. So not having the amount of volunteers and staff here to properly time these games, we get a total time of 2 hours 40.
Yeah.
Usually at WCF events, each team has thinking time.
Okay.
30 minutes of thinking time per team for a whole game, for a 10-end game.
Okay.
So it's for all the chess fans out there. You have your move, you hit your chess clock. Other team's clock starts. It's exactly like that, and your clock stops once you've released the rock, once you've delivered that stone.
Okay.
And then the other team's clock will start once they take control of the house. So when your stone stops moving, the other team clock starts.
Gotcha.
And usually teams will make their decisions earlier in the game a lot quicker, leave themselves some time at the end to really think about the last shots.
Yeah, business end, really. Business end.
Yeah.
Sandy and Rob Gagnon, our umpires this week, have done a magnificent job, haven't they?
And they do. They're
DJ Rob, as he's now known as.
DJ Rob.
Yeah.
DJ'd for 1 year in high school, according to baby DJ Ian.
Okay. Well, that's how he got his nickname. Anyway, it was at the Naseby pub last night where he got his nickname. So, DJ. So what's happening here on sheet C now?
Really just thinking about this one. So Armstrong's just moved to that guard there to try and open up those yellow ones to move them. Hugh, having hammer, might just throw a guard. Or might throw another one in there. Just waiting to see what the final call is.
Okay, Tanner with his corn broom.
Very talented Tanner. I've seen him timing his own rocks out there. Sliding out, reaching back, starting his stopwatch, and then timing his own rocks as he follows it down.
Jeez, I can hardly tie my shoes sometimes. That would take some coordination.
It does. Signalling that it's just going to be a guard there. Must have thrown it a little light. Now they're on it, just bringing it in.
Might just get a little tap.
Yeah, little tap there to sit 3. Now Armstrong's got a decision make. Do they just throw one in there and try and freeze and do a bit of damage control, or do they throw a triple run back and try and move all those yellows out of the house?
Possible?
It's possible. There's enough space there in between those rocks for them all to move.
Yeah.
Yep. And the more space in between each rock when they get hit, the more they'll move. If they're really frozen together, it's unlikely that they'll move much.
So, possible. Tough shot, but possible.
Very tough shot, but definitely doable. Even if they cut them down to just sitting 1 in the house, they're probably okay with that. They'll want to be moving 2 of them at least.
Okay.
Dustin's first year back in the men's comp for a little while, been really focusing on that mixed forwards competition. No mixed forwards this year being an Olympic year, so he's back in the men's.
Okay.
Very good curler.
One thing I noticed about Team Armstrong was game face was strong the whole time.
There
was focus, steely focus between them all.
Very focused. They really want to win it this year. Dethrone the reigning champions in Team Johns.
It's tight here. This is what Dustin is going for. Need to get that triple run back.
Oh, he's just ticked that front one. They still sit 2 there, yellow. It's probably the right call in the end, just to move those yellows.
Okay.
Has given Milliken, and it'll be Tanner Davis throwing last stones. Just giving him a little draw in there to sit in a pocket. Just got to put it in the house to score 3, and that's a big end there for Team Johns. Just taking a narrow ice line because they've got those 2 yellows there that they can use as a bit of a backstop. Matt Panucci signaling it might be a little heavy. It'll slow up, being early in the morning.
A bit of frosting over, hasn't there?
Yes. And it's a little cold outside today.
Oh, mate, I nearly went back over my head on the deck out the front of our house.
Little
today.
slippery. And that was a good draw there from Tanner. So yellow scores 3 with hammer. Take a 5-2 lead after 3.
Getting into the 4th, 5-2. Well played.
And the team's taking their minute between ends just to have a bit of a regroup and a chat.
So definitely game faces on here. On sheet B, Curl Jam v Team Williams. There's Curl Jam with a slender lead, 4-3 in this 4th end.
Williams calling appeal of the guard here.
That's what they do.
We've got Michelle Fredericks Armstrong out there for Team Williams, the wife of Dustin Armstrong.
Okay, so
Bit of a family affair out there on the sheets.
there you go. Got to keep the focus. So Hugh Milligan, his first rock in this fourth end. Crowded gallery up here in the Naseby nosebleeds. And Hugh sends one in there right onto the button.
Yeah, with a 3-shot lead now. John's just putting it in the house, trying to make Armstrong chase. And they're just going to throw up a guard, playing the same strategy that they played when they did score that 2 in the second.
Okay.
It worked. If it's not broke, don't change it.
Yep.
If that's the saying.
I like that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's it. I like that strategy. Thomas Bent's just trying to get a little closer to that.
Tom being a good power sweeper there.
Talk to me through power sweeping. It's all about weight over the broom head, isn't it?
Yeah, putting as much pressure down as that ice as you can. Sam and Tom, very good sweepers for Team Armstrong.
And essentially what you're trying to do is talk me through what you're trying to do for the people who are just watching at home.
So it's all about the friction you're putting on the ice.
Yeah.
The more friction you put down, the more pressure, the more brush strokes you can have, as we watch Tanner working hard.
Yeah. This is a good little demonstration.
Yeah, and Panucci jumps in as well. So they're putting a lot of downforce on that broom and a lot of strokes per minute. Going back and forth in front of that stone.
And
just really melting that ice.
Yeah.
Give it that little bit of less friction between the ice and the stone, just so it glides a little further.
And so Matt then was sweeping to one side of it.
Yeah, so just going to keep it a little straight. So you're sweeping on the depending on which way it's curling. You sweep on the inside of that rock, it'll stay a little straighter. You sweep on the outside of that rock, it'll curl more.
For the people watching at home who are new to curling, it's curling 101 really, isn't it, Nath? But
it is.
It's
for those that have been playing a long time, it's a basic concept, but for those watching,
it's it.
It's good to know how the game works and why sometimes you sweep with 2, sometimes you sweep with 1, and the different angles you sweep on, how the stones work.
Over on sheet B, the shot just sneaking past and into the house.
The crowd really liking that one. A great sweep there from Aggie Szentai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Our Hungarian Australian.
I was going to say, she's over here from Hungary. We had a good chat about Aggie the other day in commentary. She's over here from Hungary. Been out here for a while, but...
Yeah, minimum 2 years you need to be a permanent resident in Australia to qualify for our nationals.
Okay, and it was a good sweep. We were speaking about sweeping just then.
And a great rock thrown as well by Jen Westhagen. Just really drawing that yellow one in. Sitting 2, forcing Williams to just peel some guards.
And so that stone there, essentially the same stone that was thrown earlier, wasn't it? Just trying to guard up again.
Yep. Dustin looking at it. Might play the run back here to move both those yellows. And that's the call. Again, just trying to move some rocks out of the house. Get that force of 1. And get that hammer back and try for a big end when you've got the last rock. sorry, Dustin does have hammer here.
Yeah.
So he's just going to move those yellow ones out and open it up for him to try and score. Two games going on here at once.
It's compelling viewing.
It is. I don't know which game to watch.
The viewers at home are watching Sheet C, so we should probably broadcast that. We can keep people updated on Sheet B.
Yeah.
It's very exciting on
It is. And
Sheet B, though.
With my mixed doubles partner playing, being a member of the team on Sheet B, I'm kind of more interested in that one.
Sorry to drag you away, mate.
But that's all right. Happy to be here, Andrew.
Too good. This one looking for the run back. And
He's
does
gonna get
a
it.
great job.
Great shot there from Tom Bence. Got Tom Bence's mixed doubles partner sitting next to us here in the commentary box.
Oh, excellent.
Kiara Nathan.
They're going to be a formidable opponent.
They'll be good. They will be very good.
Macanucci. Just looking to remove maybe these two redstones now.
Yep, and they move one of those. Lose their shooter as well. They're okay with that.
So some quality curling. Just that one centre guard in play at the moment. Blank end so far. Do you get a chance to get around Naseby a bit, mate, while you're here? Go and see the sights, get it to some of the other towns?
Yeah, we have been going around. It's a nice part of central Otago. Lots of small towns around here.
Gee, the Pinot's good.
It is.
Central Otago Pinot, can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's lovely, but yeah, there are some lovely little towns.
Definitely recommend visiting Arrowtown. Very historic on the drive.
Arrowtown, great part of the world. We went out to Waipiata yesterday to the country hotel there, and they had I think there was a Ford exhibition happening or something, so there was some old racing cars and a couple old Challengers and what have you.
The crowd liking that shot on Sheet B there from Helen Williams. Hitting a very small port and sitting shot.
The arm went up. Steely focus from Helen Williams. Meanwhile, Steve Johns here on Sheet C. Looking to move this red rock. And rolls it out, so blank so far. You're going to take, or you'll probably be playing mixed doubles practicing tomorrow, so no cricket game?
Oh, I'll play a bit of cricket in the first annual Naseby Trans-Tasman cricket event.
There we go.
Assuming the ground isn't frozen.
It looked pretty frosty there this morning, but I reckon there'll be a bit of burn off. It'll be okay.
We'll be taking it very easy though. Got a very, very important competition coming up.
That's right. So just roll the arm over, nothing too...
Yeah, nothing too extravagant. Definitely staying off the luge here until the end of the competition.
Apparently the luge might be opening tomorrow if the sun's shining.
Are we talking the summer luge or the winter luge?
I'm not actually sure. I've just heard there's a luge.
They've got both here.
I'm getting a nod that's potentially going to open, so... You know,
would recommend it for all those that are visiting the nice little town of Naseby.
Come and have a curl and then go to a luge.
I have done it in the past. Done the summer one in the past. I'll be staying off it this year though. Have not been here when the winter luge is open, but we're hearing from the crowd that the winter luge is very fun. And we know that Ian Powell from Team Curl Jam on Sheet B has gone down the winter luge and came out with some pretty good bruises to show for it.
Oh, really?
Might be some technique issues there, though.
Right, luge seems like a pretty tricky sport. You don't move much, but
you go fast.
You got to try and stop. Go fast, try and stop.
Yeah. Curling's more the thinking man's game.
Yeah, sure.
Luge.
Okay, so Team Armstrong just trying to sit one in the house here.
As we see Williams just draw in to score there 2 with hammer on sheet B to make it 5-4. Take the lead back.
Okay.
As they head off for their 5-minute fourth end break.
Off for tea and grumpets. On sheet B, we're getting towards the business end of sheet C before the break.
Couple rocks more to be thrown. Tanner throwing the first of the skips rocks. Or the fourth rocks, I should say, with Tanner not actually skipping this team. Just looking to move that red one.
And freeze it. It does.
Just a hit and stick there. Not sure they wanted that. I thought they might want to get that shooter just to roll out to give Armstrong nothing to bounce off. It looks like Armstrong will just follow that one down and do the same thing. With hammer, they might just try and blank this end.
Okay. So keep hammer into the next end.
Yes, that looks like the plan here for Armstrong.
Oh, no.
Might be a late change of decision. He's gone down to the hack and he's seen something. Just didn't like the ice call. Now might be calling the freeze. Maybe they are making a play for 2 here instead of the blank. Yeah, that looks like it. Now trying to keep that shooter around. Still going for the 2.
So trying to narrow the gap a little bit here.
Yes.
Try and cut down that deficit.
They'll be all right with the 2. If they score 2 here to make it 5-4, give Johns the hammer back. They'll look for that force for 1.
Yep.
And then they score 2 again with hammer and we'll be tied up at 6 all.
All square, absolutely.
You got to thinking a couple ends ahead here. But with a bit of scoreboard pressure, they need to make these decisions.
And execute them. That's another thing.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. The plan's there. Executing, different story.
Derek just giving it a light little sweep. Line looks okay.
Heavy?
Might be a little heavy. Derek now curling. Yeah, it's just sneaking past that. Yeah, a little heavy. Didn't curl for him.
So through the house.
Now Will Miller can just split the house. Yeah. Put one up the top. Make it a hard double.
Okay. Last couple of stones before the break. What can they pull off here, Nath?
Looks like they're just going to put one out the top of the house. It will leave Armstrong a draw for 1. And they're just going to put something up the top there and make him draw around it. cue pointing where he wants it to go. Sweeper's looking. Just hanging out there, not really curling around. It's not a bad shot. It's still in the 4-foot. So Dustin's still got to throw a good draw here to score. Or do they throw that double for the blank? They're looking at it. Things change very quickly.
And as you say, they're planning ahead a couple of ends almost, aren't they?
They are. Whether they want to keep the hammer for the next end to go for the 2, or whether they take their 1.
Yeah.
It's a very similar double to the one that Sam Williams threw earlier, so we know it's possible.
It's be a very tight angle, wouldn't it, to roll across?
It is. You'd have to come in with some good weight.
We'll see with the push off the hack, I guess.
The ice call, it doesn't look like it's coming too heavy to move both of those rocks and get the roll across.
Maybe just trying to move the 1 here. We'll just draw it in.
With that weight, they're definitely only going to score 1, and it's not going to be a blank. Sweeper's working hard. Got to get it to the 4-foot.
Looks like it might come up short here.
Sam Williams jumping in. Oh, it's just come up short. That's going to be 2 yellow.
2 yellow.
7-2 lead at the end of the 4th for Team Johns.
Wow. So there you have it. Team Johns with a commanding lead now.
Yes, the positive for Armstrong there is that they will keep the hammer, and if they can get a big 4, they're still definitely in the game.
Absolutely. Things can change very quickly, as you say.
It can. Scoreboards can blow out, but the game is closer than you think.
Sheet B, action has resumed. 5-4 to Team Williams. While things take a quick break on Sheet C, shall we take a quick break? Go get a water?
I think so, Andrew.
All right, beautiful. We'll be back shortly.
For all our viewers at home, see you soon.
That's it.
Well, hello everybody, we're back. So we've got a change of personnel in the commentary box. So thank you to Nathan and Andrew for. So we've got big boots to fill.
We do have big boots.
I'm now joined by Matt Heskett from Queensland. My name's Bruce Freshwater from Vic. We'll do our best to try and emulate the scintillating conversation that's been had. But then Andrew is a professional, so.
As you said, Bruce, big boots to fill. So.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
So we've just started the 5th end here on Sheep C. So score update, we've got 4-7 to Yellowstones, which is Team Johns, versus 2 to Team Armstrong at the moment. On Sheet B, you might see a little bit of that in the broadcast. They're about halfway through their 5th end. They've finished a little bit earlier than Team Johns and Team Armstrong, so that they're currently sitting. I
think Team Armstrong is there.
Team
5.
Armstrong of 5, yes.
Sorry, Team Williams. Sorry, of 5-4, and they're sitting 2 at the moment.
That's right.
Without hammer. So, and they're getting into 3rd stones at the moment, I think. No, still in 2nd stones.
So Hugh Milliken's first stone just drawn into the centre there, and then Derek Smith here with his first stone.
Yeah, I think he's. Again, Dustin really needs to generate some offense here, so he's ignoring that stone in the house and putting up a corner guard. So for those who aren't so familiar with curling, a guard in curling is actually an offensive move, as it creates something to hide behind. And unfortunately, that's gone a little deep and into the rings, so you can see a bit of broom slapping there. They're not happy with that.
So it means it is in play. Steve John's looking like he wants to take it out.
Yeah. Obviously, had it been a guard, of course, we're still in the free guard zone. So had that stone ended up in that guard zone before the rings, it couldn't be hit out at this point. But just by creeping that extra couple of feet, and Milliken is ruthless when it comes to these. He's got score on his side. He just needs to keep Armstrong's rocks out of play. He doesn't really mind if he rolls out or stays put.
But just hits it on the nose.
Yeah, sit just outside the rings, I think.
Dustin trying to reset that guard.
So, yeah, so he can use that Yellowstone as well. He's trying to create a stagger, I think, here, or a Christmas tree stagger in the corner there, with one of his own guarding that guard to create a large area in the house to come and hide behind. Draw in. I think that'll be the tactic for the next couple of rocks from Armstrong here. It looks very calm at the moment. They seem to be quite happy with it. Maybe coming up a little shy, but sweepers all over it. Yeah, that's a good stone there. Nice spot. So Armstrong still has something to work with.
They seem much happier after that stone, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as much broom slapping going on, but lots of high fives and fist bumps. So
there you go. Yeah, smiles. Good. Yeah, and laughing. There we go. That's what this game's about. It's war out there, but it's still played in a convivial spirit. A couple of options here. Looks like Milliken's going for offensive defense from Milliken there. So he's looking at putting another one into the house. He's going to get there. He's basically going to get there before Armstrong does. I think would be his thinking. Coming behind those 2 staggered corner guards.
So Matt Panucci's just in the hack here with his first.
Crowds building up here in the peanut gallery.
Of both the 2-legged and the 4-legged variety.
Oh, absolutely. But slightly subdued because of the celebrations in the pub last night to all the teams that are no longer involved in this tournament. I think 1 or 2 sherbets were had. There's a few headaches and red eyes this morning.
Certainly not from those on the ice, though. They had a very responsible night last night.
They were good. Yeah, most of them. Most of them.
I didn't actually. I came a little bit later after I had some dinner at home and didn't see half of these people. So very responsible last night.
Well, that stone from Armstrong number 2. I can never remember what Derek's. Or was that was that Williams or was that Panucci through that one?
That was Matt Panucci.
Yeah, he came up just a little shy there, so he hasn't managed to bury that stone. So I think they call this a little hit and roll here to try and get rid of that yellow stone and then roll in front, possibly to provide more cover.
So Thomas Spence with his first.
Yeah, possibly even roll into the rings if they can. Yeah, so it's quiet weight, this sort of control. No,
it's coming onto it.
It's going to get rid of it. I think they're going to lose it though, unfortunately. But it's done its main job, which was to get rid of that yellow stone. So perhaps thrown a fraction heavy from Thomas Bence there. And he's a young, healthy, fit guy, and does like to throw a hit when he can.
Absolutely does.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who is joining us from whether you're here locally in Naseby, back home in Australia, or anywhere around the world. So
yeah, we will monitor I believe it's on Facebook and YouTube. We'll monitor the YouTube channel here. So if you've got any comments, just let us know where you are. Give us a shout out. Let us know where you're watching from. Ask us any questions.
Thanks for all the comments as well. We do just have a couple of technical issues this morning with those cameras, so we're just not able to get the cameras at both ends, unfortunately.
It was scoreboard glitches yesterday, and now it's kind of apologies for that. So we'll do our best to keep you updated with the state of play on both our feature game here on sheet C, but also what's happening on the adjacent sheet B in the women's draw.
But a big thanks again to Brad Scott, our volunteer, who's worked extremely hard to get our streaming up and running. So thanks to Brad for all of your efforts. He's madly plugging and unplugging things beside us in the commentary booth to try and get those cameras back.
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend.
Brad Scott.
Brad Scott. So yeah, when he wears multiple hats, and I don't know how he does it. Yep, so the guard's been replaced there by Team Armstrong. Nice guard shot there from Thomas Bence. Milliken will just remove that. We're going to play this game for a couple more stones, I think. Patience being shown by both teams. So Steve Johns coming in, being asked to just remove that red stone. This one looks like it's going a little on the low side. No, he's managed to stay high. That's a nice shot. So I think we're playing the guard peel game at the moment. So I think one more guard, I think is the call.
And so Sam Williams is up from Queensland. He's about to step into the hack for his slide.
Well, I must say, those catfish are really quite intimidating from this angle.
They are.
There's a redfin catfish, I believe, on the backs of our Team Armstrong shirts.
A little confusing though, Bruce. They were wearing red shirts earlier when they were in the week when they were playing with red stones, but they've gone with the lighter coloured shirts.
Wow,
with the darker stones.
one of the few teams here with 2 uniforms, so that's full respect to them already.
Obviously, the catfish power was giving them better success than the trout. So
catfish trumps trout.
Yes, for those who haven't seen, their red trout shirts was their alternate uniform.
Bit of a mistake there from Panucci. So unfortunately, that attempt at the guard didn't make it over the hog line. So not Panucci, sorry, that was Sam Williams.
Yes.
So unfortunately, that's Armstrong. Milliken's going to jump all over that, and he's certainly going to get rid of that one guard. Just peel that out if you can. Again, for those who don't know curling, you might think it's better to hit the. So why are they hitting their own stone out? Why would they do that, Matt?
Well, as we're getting closer to the end, because they don't have hammer, they want to try and remove all the opportunities for the red stones to come behind and hide.
And red could use a yellow stone to hide behind. So
Or also tick off as well that they're
Indeed.
up themselves
So-
as well to try and create better angles to get into the house.
So yeah, so one of the nuances of curling right there. So it seems a bit counterintuitive to those who may not know.
But a very, very typical, calm, cool, collected Steve Johns with that peel.
Yeah.
And then Sam Williams here.
I think being asked to. So the only thing Team Armstrong have to work with now is that yellow stone in the house. This is going to come up a little short, unfortunately. So when you don't have any guards to play with, if there are stones in play in the rings, you can come behind those if they're up the top of the house, and use them as guards in the house, so to speak. But when they're slightly further back, like that yellow stone is, you can freeze on top of them, so you can land your stone just in front of it. And then it's got some backing, so it's not easy to remove. So it's unfortunately that stone from Williams coming up about 6 feet short, 7 feet short.
And then Milliken calling just to get rid of it once again.
Yeah.
This time with Tanner Davis with his first stone.
Yeah. So when you're 5 in front in the back half of the game, Milliken wants to see fewer and fewer stones in play. So we'll just be removing. And Tanner Davis here with legendary hitting power in these parts, with his very identifiable Manitoba tuck style delivery.
And his corn broom as a delivery device
And
as well,
his
instead of a
taped-up
normal
corn broom, so
instead of a normal broom.
So very, having been taught the traditional way in his part of British Columbia, where he's from, now lives in Australia, recently moved. So has always been a great asset for Australian curling, and it's nice to have him a bit close to home. So.
Thanks to Lauren on the comments on YouTube as well. We've actually just got a little bit of added insight into Steve Johns'
Oh, really?
yeah, into his mindset. So apparently he's playing with some added pressure tonight or today with the Leafs in Game 7 tonight in Toronto. So hopefully he is 100% committed to where he is right now in his curling game and
Be where his boots are.
Exactly. And hopefully be able to celebrate tonight and watch the Leafs in Toronto. But for now, it's all on curling.
So I think the freeze is a freeze has been called, or a little tap possibly. Armstrong, I think that's the call. Doesn't look like a lot of ice, but then Dustin does have quite a positive release. So yeah, he is, but the freeze is the call. Meanwhile, over on sheet B, Team Curl Jam were forced to 1, but it does mean that game's now tied up in the 6th, with Team Williams having hammer. So Team Williams will be happy with that. They've now got hammer in the even ends. They've got 2 hammers potentially to Team Curl Jam's 1. With the scores tied, so they'll fancy their chances for the remainder of this game, but we'll keep you updated.
Back here on sheet C, that
Pretty good.
that red rock from Dustin, it's a little high, a little short.
Yeah, just a couple
Bit
of feet
separation.
short. So, and yeah, with the hitting power of Tanner Davis here, would expect that red rock to disappear quite quickly.
Not quite sure what you can see on your camera is, but Tanner Davis
Oh!
was almost laying on the ice there with that Manitoba tuck.
So, right, bit of a break there. So, unfortunately, just got the angle slightly wrong on that takeout to stuff it, is what the TSN commentators would say. They would stuff it. So, which meant it just hit that red stone, hit the yellow stone full on the nose and didn't have enough remaining energy to roll out of the rings. And it's even got a bit of cover from the stone that was thrown as the shooter. So suddenly the 2 is back on. In fact, this is a hammer. So out of nowhere, it would appear that Armstrong's got just anywhere in the solid 8 foot will get him his 2. And he'll start to claw back some of that deficit. Still a long way back from here, but you've got to start somewhere.
Sweep it on hard. And as you said, Bruce, anywhere in the 8 foot's fine.
Yeah. He just wants to,
Coming in, it's on that yellow.
wants to
though.
get it off the yellow. Oh, well, that was coolly done by that team. That was
Well
surprisingly. Oh, it's not. Yes, it is hammer. There, yeah. Or was it just the one? Was that just the one? Or was it two? We'll just wait for the official score to go up. It
Yes,
was the two.
It was a 2.
That was two. Coolly done there to play it towards the stones. I guess he fancied having the bit of backing, just to let his sweepers manage the angles a bit.
So Team Johns is now sitting 7, but Dustin Armstrong's team is now at 4
At 4.
on sheet C.
Yeah, and Team Johns has hammer going into the 6th. Meanwhile, things are very close on sheet B, so we're all tied up there at 5-all, with Team Williams having hammer going into the
In their 6th.
in the 6th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Certainly has been an arm wrestle on sheet B.
Absolutely.
Trading blows.
That's right. Yes, it's very close. Lots of stones in play. Lots of quality and interesting, exciting curling to watch. It's always good when there's more stones in play, I think. But mind you, 7-4 in a men's game's, pretty unusual these days. Scoring's obviously increased in curling since the creation of the 5-rock free guard zone rule, but 7-4 is a nice scoreline to see. So gone are the old days of men's curling just finishing 2-1 or 3-2. So I think we're just going to see the centre guard up from Team Armstrong here. That looks like it's, the weight's good. It looks like it's a little tight, but this team all have quite positive deliveries, so there's not too much curl on their stand. That's a nice stand. That's going to cover the centre line. Important that it did that. I think Milliken just trying to put up a corner guard here. Or is he trying with tick? No, he can't try the tick because that's on the. This could be ticking, and this is on the centre line. I think we're going to see a centre line guard violation, but
Yes.
spirit of curling right there. Tanner Davis all over that.
So that first note from Hugh Milliken is going to stay.
Oh, wow.
So Dustin Armstrong's choosing to.
He's choosing to keep
Oh.
that, which makes sense because Armstrong needs guards in play. Guards are his friend. Doesn't really matter what colour they are.
It is, but we've got Rob Gagnon here just consulting on the rules. Is it possible
Yeah.
to keep it? Obviously, Tanner Davis stopped it from where it was supposed to go.
Yeah, so Tanner Davis just preempted just automatically these days going, oh, centre line guard violation. I'll just get rid of it and reset it because it was a foul. But actually, it's the other team's call. And yeah, Armstrong needs guards, so it's his call to say, you know what, we'll keep both of those. So just getting the umpire in here with a technical timeout just to clarify the rules, who does what. But Team Armstrong weren't the offender here, so I think the right thing will be done. And yeah, we'll just get those stones put back to where they.
Steve Jones indicating that he thought that the stone was going to roll out with the weight of that hit off the centre line.
So, well, we might have to get a little statement from the umpires after that. No, after the game, we'll just a clarification of the rules. But that's why we have them here, our amazing umpires. All of them, obviously the two stalwarts, are Sandy Gagnon and her husband Rob Gagnon. They're the most frequent umpires. But both you and I have put on our umpires' hats in the past, Matt.
We have. Unfortunately, this year, just with the draw, I wasn't able to
Yeah.
to put on my umpire hat this year, just with the schedule of men's and mixed doubles.
Same, yeah, myself included. So I'm not donning the umpire's hat, but yeah, I'm full empathy for the umpires. It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it, and they do it brilliantly.
They absolutely do it brilliantly.
Oh, so now that's been sorted out. Game resuming here, so I think we're getting a come around the centre guard there.
Derek Smith just try to put that centre guard back up. Try and get it on the centre line again.
Okay. So, okay. I think
just to the left of it, I think.
Centre guard must have been the call. We're still in the free guard zone, so I think Armstrong just trying to get as much junk up front as possible. And they'll start drawing in once the free guard zone's over.
Just under an hour left on the game clock today. I think that's plenty of time for these games that we've got. But for those who are watching and they're not quite sure, we've just got a countdown clock from 2 hours 40. And once the clock hits 0, no new ends can be started. So if they haven't started the 8th end by that point, the scores will stand once they finish the existing end. But I think that's plenty of time for our games this morning.
Obviously, should either of these two games need an extra end, then there's an additional clock that resets and starts just to time that additional end on its own. That's a good question. Question from the audience. I think it's another. How long do we get for the extra end? I think it's something like 12 minutes. I think 12 to 14. The calculations are done to allow the last 4 ends are given a bit more time than the first 4, so that's factor. So because we can't do individual sheet timekeeping here, we just don't have the volunteers to do the timekeeping for us. So hence we time the whole game using averages and metrics from World Curling, so, recommended times for thinking time, and then some average shot times, and factoring in a measure and that kind of thing. So we have that 2 hours 15, I think it is, for the overall.
2 hours 40.
2 hours 40. Oh, yes.
Ample, plenty of time. There was an extra end earlier in the competition. There's still a little bit of time left on the clock. I think it's about 7 minutes left. So the umpires decided rather than resetting the clock that they would just let that time expire.
Yeah. So, actually, I mean, it's credit to all teams here and all the athletes that, keeping time has been a problem in the past, but this tournament has been played mostly to time. I think it's something we're all aware of. As putting my athlete cap on, we're all very aware of it as athletes.
And especially this year as well, Bruce, there is high stakes. It's not just the Australian title on the line with the opportunity to go to the Pan-Continental Curling Championships as either the men's or the women's Australian team, but there's also then pre-Olympic qualification event eligibility as well. So it is high stakes curling this year in the year before the Olympics.
It's a long and winding road for Olympic qualification in any of the curling formats, but yes, men's and women's in particular, but it's there. So yeah, the Olympic dream lives for all 4 of the teams out here today.
And I'm sure that they'll all be channeling the inspiration from Talia Gill and Dean Hewitt from 2022 in their 2021 with their Olympic qualifying event win, which got them their Olympic berth for the Beijing Olympics in 2022.
Back to sheet C, I think now Milliken's had enough of this. He's starting to clean up the front, get rid of redstones in particular. Oh, and that was so close to the run back there from Johns. From Davis, rather. Who was it? That was John. Oh, it was Panucci. That was a Panucci stand. So great stand from Matt there. But there's still plenty of, and we have staggered guards, so there's lots to work with here for Armstrong, and he's counting in the house. So this is not over yet. We can get a couple of good draws under cover here, and there could potentially be a 3-on for Armstrong. Yes, Armstrong at this point. So just need to lay a couple of good draws behind those staggered guards, up the centre or into the wings. So Bent's draw coming in from Thomas Bent on the outturn side, just trying to come through the port. Needs to go. It's currently on the guard, so the sweepers are on it. Need to bring that in as deep as they can. And there's some strong sweeping here. Although, unfortunately, the strongest sweeper in this team is probably Thomas Spence himself. We're going to see a bit more of him sweeping his own stones over the next few days when he moves on to the mixed doubles competition. And in fact, Thomas's partner, Kiara, is sitting right next to me. So,
looks like she's taking notes and seeing how he's performing, so that way coming up with what the optimal strategy is going to be.
yeah, and things to nag him about and shout at him.
Quite a number of people on the ice in these last 4 teams that are playing in mixed doubles. I know that you are, Bruce. I'm certainly playing mixed doubles too.
Yeah, it's a long way. I mean, last year was brutal for those when we still had the mixed fours competition as well. A few of us were stupid enough to enter all 3. I think Matt Panussi held the record over that particular nationals with 21 games, I believe, or 22 games.
I think it was up around 27 or so, because there was quite a few of the championship games here.
Yeah, I remember
Here we
it was
go.
low 20s.
We've been told 32 is what we've been told. 32 games. We had one of the people in
But I know Matt Panussi wasn't in all 32 of them. So we're trying to see who played in most. Matt played in 32.
Yeah.
I did. That was brutal. I think I was second. My second looked. I was 19, which wasn't bad for somebody in his 50s. And then full shout out to Brad Scott, who played 17,
while looking after the stream.
whilst looking after the stream and being the technical representative for curling or the curling Australian Curling Federation that year. So yeah, let's hear it for the old guys in quotes, all 3 of us.
Now, as Matt Panussi is delivering this stone, I'll read a little comment for you. Actually, we'll wait to see what the outcome is first before we read this comment.
I think we've got nice shot there to open up the centre a bit.
So thanks, Iconic Lemon on YouTube. So Iconic Lemon says, "Bonjour from Montreal here, cheering on Matt Panussi, a.k.a. the Donkey."
The Donkey.
So I think
that needs to be...
there's
a story there. Yeah, if you could shed some light on that from Montreal, that would be wonderful. But yeah, I think we might. Unfortunately, they're leaving, but that's the kind of thing the investigative journalistic powers of our new team from Queensland, the Curlews, would love that kind of story.
So thank you for joining us, Iconic Lemon. And if there is any backstory that you can share in this family-friendly environment, that'd be great to know. Otherwise, it might be one that we'll have to ask him after the game.
Yes. So now the draw coming in from Williams there. So tricky situation for Armstrong here because the guards are out sort of in the wings, but his counting stone's on the centre line. So he elected to sort of play a guard in the house there to count a second stone, but try and protect his counter at the back of the forefoot. But it does mean that the run back is there for Johns. And potentially a roll to the wings that would put Johns Milliken in a very strong position. So quiet weight, sort of normal to control coming in from Steve Johns here. Looks like it's going to over curl ever so slightly. Oh, fantastic shot from Johns. Makes the double. Rolls the other way to the centre line. However, there's still plenty to work with for Armstrong here. He's got lots of guards, albeit yellow stones. But he still has plenty of places to hide. So he could elect to come into the rings behind those yellow stones. But having just seen that run back, he knows how difficult that is to hide behind a yellow stone. So now he's looking to thinking about freezing the stone on the centre line in the top of the 12. He's having a long, hard think about this. There's no easy decision, choices to make here to Dustin.
Down to the last 2 stones on sheet B, though, while Dustin's having that think. So at the moment, red currently sitting 1 on sheet B. They've obviously got hammer, but Aggie's about to send her last stone down to try and take that red out that's in the 8 foot. And then we'll see what Helen Williams can do with her last stone.
under. Not quite. Well, it looks okay, though. They would have liked the roll to try and put a steal on the table, but looks like the force is on for Team Curl Jam here.
Continuing that arm wrestle.
Yeah. So again, Milliken looking to just clean things up at the front here. This team uses their stones so efficiently. You know, if they can find a way to do 2 jobs with a single stone or 3 jobs, they'll take that option off, and then they often make the shot. So I think we're looking to try and get rid of a couple of stones, even if they're yellow, just to clean things up, and they would like the shooter to roll away as well. Well, that's not ideal, that stone, because it's only moved 1 red, and it's rolled in such a way it's created a stagger that the pin is now available for a draw, and would be fairly difficult to remove if a good draw right to the button or the center line top button could be made. No, it just makes that one. So yeah, on sheet B, Team Williams are forced to 1. So as Matt said, the arm wrestle continues over there. So it's 6-5 to Team Williams going into the 7th end, and Team Curl Jam will take hammer into the 7th. So we're down to skip stones now here on sheet C. So with those staggered guards in the center, Armstrong looking here to lay a nice draw to the. Try and keep it top tee, so top button, top 4 if you can. This looks a little wide. It appears to be hanging, so the sweeper's working hard to get it into the rings, but I don't think it's going to get back to center. It may not even get into the rings. It may not even be shot. Go on, that's a good sweep. Get it to shot rock. Yep, so well swept there.
Great effort there from the boys.
Yeah, just at least get it to shot. That'll force Team Johns to have to deal with it. So they'll probably look to hit and either roll out completely or may possibly roll back to the center to really lay on the pain, which this team is very good at doing. I think most of us, certainly up here, who are in this tournament, have probably suffered big defeats at the hands of Team Johns in the past. Meanwhile, I'm going to enjoy a delicious peanut butter slice from the Black Forest Cafe here in town in Naseby. So for those of you who don't know Naseby, do get over here as well as the curling. You can enjoy delicious cafe food from the Black Forest Cafe.
So I've just turned Bruce's microphone off while he enjoys that peanut butter slice. He's enjoying that. He's enjoying that quite well. Everyone's enjoying Bruce eating that slice. But we had Tanner Davis just take out that red stone that was placed by Dustin Armstrong before. So we're down to Dustin Armstrong's last stone in this end. Just a little shout out though for those who are in the Australian community, the curling community, or even New Zealand curling community as well, or anyone across the world. If you happen to be in Melbourne on the 17th of October, so Friday the 17th of October, the Victorian Curling Association are hosting their fun spiel at the O'Brien Ice House at Docklands in Victoria, right in the centre of Melbourne. Very easy to get to, great event. This is Fun Spiel 2.0. Last year in 2024 was the inaugural event. They're seeking teams, so form a team, whether it's old mates or new mates, come down, have some fun. There's a prize for the best team costume. The rules are wacky, it's not curling as you know it, and all abilities are welcome. So we do have a QR code on the flyer that I've got here, but certainly if you jump onto the Victorian Curling Association's Facebook page and social media, you'll be able to find some details about the fun spiel. But back to sheet C, we've got Dustin Armstrong trying to draw in behind those yellow guards at the front. Tom Bence is sweeping for his life, turning red, taking his first breath in 20 seconds. And we've just got Dustin just on the tee line there in the forfeit. So down to, it is a little bit buried there. But we'll see what Tanner Davis is able to do, whether he's going to try and come onto it or whether he's going to try and draw through or use one of his ample guards to try and create some magic for our stream here. So shot rock at the moment is that red that's on the forefoot, but Team Johns does have two in the house as well. One very definitely in the blue paint at the top, and then one biting in the top corner.
Thank you, Matt. Well, to your point about not taking a breath, I can now breathe again after vacuuming that slice up, which was quite delicious. And very, so there's a few sore heads after last night's celebrations in the pub, so that slice has certainly helped me. Sugar required. So deliberations here on sheet C. So that stone is definitely from Armstrong, has got Milliken and Johns thinking. There are plenty of, in this position, there are many teams and curlers around the world who'd be quite happy to just give up the one here, but not this team. They are ruthless. If they can find an opportunity to steal, they will take it.
So Tanner Davis has thrown his stone, and the sweepers are calling that it's quite high in weight. And they've just nicked it enough. Hugh Milliken sweeping it out. So they'll take two into this. They'll take two in that sixth
that was
end.
hammer. Yes, my apologies. I got the hammer order wrong. So yeah, Milliken takes two.
We have had a couple of comments, so thank you to thanks for everyone who's joining us. So Lauren again, have a brownie for me is what she's called. I'm actually quite partial to the savoury scone, but I think now that the men's and women's is coming to a close, I think I'll start on the sweet treats from the Black Forest Cafe. We've also got so Phil Goshnick. Thanks for joining us. He's currently on the east-west runway in Sydney Airport, so he's had to fly home. So
he's in a plane.
He is in a plane.
That's good.
So thanks for joining us, Phil. I'm sure that he'll be trying to also watches is trying to clear customs into Australia before he heads on back to Brisbane. And then also a question as well from George Thomas. So shout out to George. He had a bit of an injury earlier this in the competition. So hope you're on the mend, mate. It was good to see you yesterday. So hopefully you're on the mend. But he's asked what's our thoughts on the 2 hours and 40-minute time limit, Matt. So I've got a question for you, Bruce.
Oh.
What do you think the world record is for the fastest 8 ends of curling?
Wow. Oh wow, speed curling.
Speed curling.
Someone was trying, I'm assuming.
Well, look, I believe so. I can tell you.
Yeah.
I can tell you it was on the 4th of April, 1986. So before I was born, but only by a few months.
For an 8-end game of curling.
8-end game.
Could you? Let's say, I don't know, 12 minutes.
Oh, it's a little bit longer than that.
Oh wow, okay.
A little bit longer.
It wasn't sprint curling.
No.
Half an hour.
A little bit longer. So 47 minutes and 24 seconds. World record at the from the Burlington Golf and Country Club. 8 ends with time penalties of 5 minutes and 30 seconds in Ontario, Canada.
With time penalties.
Penalties.
So there were time penalties. I'm intrigued.
Yes.
Sounds like there's an actual formal codification of that event with rules and...
Quite likely.
Yeah.
Well, for it to be an official Guinness World Record, of course there is. But
so you can't just throw peels or hog.
That's right.
Yeah, interesting.
But George, yes, to answer your question, as was discussed by our wonderful umpires at our team meeting, 2 hours 40 is ample. So very gracious to have that amount of time. But it certainly keeps, as you said, Bruce, it keeps the pace of the game going.
Yeah, as an athlete, I feel it's a fair time. You certainly can't hang around out there. Something very, and I don't know about the other sort of members from the other states here, but certainly when we go back home to Melbourne and start playing on our normal Monday nights, which are quite relaxed affairs, you can always tell the teams that are used to going to nationals, because we're always looking over our shoulder to see where Sandy or Rob are. We're very aware just to keep the pace of play going. So good habits are instilled into us by what we do here at nationals. So keep play going.
And likewise, up in Queensland as well. So we've got a very limited time that we've got. Once we've got a fair bit of setup that we need to do. So we're really constrained to about an hour and a half from throwing the first stone to having to be off the ice for the Zamboni to come out for the ice hockey players after us.
Yeah, well, we changed things up last year in Victoria. We used to have a single 2-hour league session after a 1-hour public session. And we actually changed things up for good reasons. One was we had too many teams in the league, and buys were starting to creep into the 2-hour, the single draw we had. But also, I know your draw time in Queensland's very unfriendly. I mean, ours is fairly unfriendly from 8 to 10 on a Monday night, which is obviously hopeless to try and have any kind of junior program. So we made a decision that we would actually... We used to be, for the various contractual arrangements, was that we used to get the hour from 7 to 8, that public hour for free. But we actually elected to pay for it so that we could then have a complete 3-hour window, which we then divided into two league slots of an hour and a half. Then back to your point of speedy play. You know, at this pace, you should be able to get 6 ends in 90 minutes.
Yes.
Which is certainly enough for social curling on a Monday night.
That's right. We're very fortunate, actually. We did have an unfriendly time slot. It used to be around 9 till 11.
Oh, wow.
On a Wednesday night. It's now moved to 7:30 till 9.
Oh, that's much more
palatable. It is much more palatable. On a Thursday night. So shout out to those who join us out at Ice World at Boondall. And if you want to come and give curling a go, whether it's in Queensland, in Victoria or at the Ice House, or over in Western Australia as well, please do jump onto the social media pages for both Queensland Curling Association, Victoria Curling Association, or Curling WA, or even Curling Australia's website as well, to find the links to each of those state association websites to find out more.
Absolutely. We're always happy. We're fortunate in Victoria to have weekly public drop-in curling during the main season from Easter through to about October. So, yeah, do check us out. And then, of course, there's the fun spiel. So, whilst the fun spiel, it will help to be able to play a little bit of curling. We perhaps don't want complete beginners, but all it would take would be to come to a few of our public come and try sessions, or even book our 4-week Learn to Curl course that we have in Victoria. That would see you enough to be able to come to our fun spiel in October. So, check out Victorian Curling Association. Check our website out, or our socials.
And I'm sure if you're also wanting to give it a go but don't quite have a team yet ready, reach out to the Victorian Curling Association, register your interest, and if they find some other spare players who might be interested, they'll certainly. I'm sure that they'll certainly help.
Absolutely,
you
we're still at the wait listing, so we haven't put the tickets up for sale yet. We're going to have both team and individual tickets. Obviously, we prefer if a whole team can come, and why not bring a team of your mates and have fun? But if you can't put a team together, that's fine. When tickets go on sale, sign up as individual, and we will hook you up with some other players.
I know that I've already got my flights booked, Bruce. So Grace and I.
Again, you did that last year.
We did do that last year.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
yep.
That's amazing, Matt. Thank you, Grace.
As soon as we knew the dates, we jumped on. We booked those flights because we knew that we weren't going to miss it. So very excited for it.
Well, that was good. That acted as impetus for us because last year was the first time we'd done it. We didn't quite know how to market it, so we weren't nearly as prepared. So ticket sales were a little sluggish, but we knew we had to run the event because you'd booked flights.
Absolutely.
So we were not going to let you down. So.
And we had a great show from Western Australia that came over as well.
We did in the end. So in the end, we had a great event. It was about 3/4 full, but that was enough for us to run it, and everybody got to curl all the time. But yeah, we were hoping to sell out this time. So we've got Sam, who's now running the show in Victoria. Is doing a great job there. So And Michelle here, who's on the working group and subcommittee for that event, extending the invitation to our friends here in the New Zealand Curling Association and the clubs here in New Zealand. Get across the ditch for a long weekend. And Melbourne, obviously a city with a proud sporting tradition.
Back to sheet C.
Yeah.
Where 4 stones left for each colour. Steve Johns has just thrown his first, which means that they've got 3, and then Sam Williams about to throw his first.
So yeah, so Milliken doing his best to keep the ends very open now, playing this. He's 5 in front. There's a one very lonely, very wide corner guard. And even that is a Milliken stone, and that's the only thing that Team Armstrong have to work with here, is to draw very wide to the 12-foot on the right-hander's in-turn side.
So Bruce, we've got 2 very experienced teams out here on sheet C, and so it's going to be a great spectacle to see how they deal with it. But what do you think if it was, let's say, your team, Team Gagnon, and our team, Team Gojnik, if we were playing this game here, that's the scoreline. Let's say that we were yellow. I know that wasn't how it worked out this year with the scoreline. But what would your strategy be to try and come back from this far down with a couple of ends left?
Well, it has to be guards. In fact, my team, we were in this position the game after yours in our playoff against Team Collins. In the men's draw, we found ourselves down with only a couple of ends left to play. So, and in fact, we found ourselves down quite early on in the game, and we actually said in the halftime break that we had to steal the expletive out of this for the rest of the game. So we basically set the front of the house up for steals because we didn't have hammer at that point. We'd given up hammer, so. And that's what we had to do. So we would put up centre guards, we put up double centre guards, and yeah, get those guards in play and just try and keep rocks in play, things we could use.
And so, like as you said earlier, counterintuitively for those who are new to curling, a guard is actually an offensive strategy. Although it's called a guard, which sounds quite defensive, it is an offensive move. So.
And it worked for us for all but one end. In fact, we fought back. We fought back from 6-1 down to 7-6 up. And but then the class of Team Collins shone through, and they got another 4-ender, and that rather took the game away from us. But, so again, still a very open end here on sheet C. There is, so we do have 2 corner guards to work with now. I think an attempt to remove one of those corners. So the corner guard was laid. A clearing shot was missed. So there is a red corner guard in about the covering about the 8 foot. And there was a draw attempt that didn't quite bury, unfortunately. So Tanner Davis can see most of that stone from his hack, so he'll be asked to remove that. Stone coming in. Deadeye Davis, we call him. Nice shot, and that's even going to hang around, that stone.
So just an update, we've got Aggie's just thrown the last stone in the women's game. It's just coming to rest now. At the moment, we're looking like it's probably 1 red. So just wait for the official to score to get hung by Sandy Gagnon, the umpire. So that's a steal of 2, in fact. No, steal of 1.
Steal of 1.
Steal of 1.
Now that's interesting. Now, this is where we have an interesting curling tactic, because ideally Team Curl Jam would have wanted to have got their 2 in that end. Now, but when faced with being forced just 1, some people might say that there is an advantage to giving up hammer if you're only going to give up the 1, so that you take hammer back into that last end. Now they're 2 down. It's not ideal, but perhaps they still have that advantage to score their multiple score, or at least tied up.
Yeah,
take it to the extra end.
So Williams up 7-5 against Curl Jam on sheet B.
So we'll see what they can do. And of course, ever since the 5 rock free guard zone rule came in, 3 is a more common. 3s and higher are more common scores than they used to be. So it's still everything to play for on sheet B.
And of course, for those who are joining us, this is the best of 3 for our championship games. So this is game 1 of 3. Our second draw is later this afternoon.
Yep.
And then, if need be, we come back tomorrow morning for our third of the championship games for that best of 3 to work out who is going to be both the men's and women's Australian champions.
So yes, so it's not do or die just yet. All 4 of these teams will be back this afternoon. And of course, for all the neutrals up here, any neutrals here, we just want to watch as much curling as we can. So from a neutrals point of view, whatever the results are here in this draw, we'd like to see the reverse of that this afternoon so that we can all come back for some bonus curling. I'm sure the teams would disagree with that. The teams out there now, they'd love to, the winning teams would love to tie it up today, but the rest of us, I'm sure, would love to see some more curling tomorrow morning. So, yeah, not ideal there from Team Armstrong on sheet C. The freeze was the call to try and freeze to that John stone that's sort of in the back forefoot. And unfortunately, that came up a good 7 feet short, that stone. It didn't even make it into the rings, to the point where it's actually acting as a guard for the John's Milliken stone. So, yes, a bit of frustration being seen there by Team Armstrong. Certainly things not going their way. It's hard to see them coming back from here, but you never know.
Thanks to everyone for their comments as well. Just to let you know, Sherry, thanks for your comment. I'm sitting beside Brad, our broadcast guru, and he's going to try and move that overhead camera shot to see if we can try and get a little bit of the women's sheet on the camera for you. So thanks for commenting. Thanks for letting us know what you'd like to see from our Australian nationals.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on what's happening on sheet B as best we can, whilst giving full attention to our feature game. When it's not your day, it's not your day, is it, for Team Armstrong on sheet C there? That stone was wide from Team Johns, but it got a very favourable tick to cover the centre line, take away draw paths, and just genuinely be annoying. But it is something that there is a draw path there, but there are stones in the way. So all best Armstrong can do here is take his 1, and would still be 4 shots behind going into the 8th end. So a long road back from here for Team Armstrong.
Last stone from Dustin Armstrong here.
Oh no, we're in the 7th end, aren't we? So
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting to. I can't count, and we're still going to the away end. So he would much rather be 4 down than 5 down, though. So just take his 1, and then just have to take his chances with lots of stealing in the 8th end, which I think he'll do. He's not the kind of guy to concede, and he'll fight till the end. That looks narrow.
Sweepers are on though.
So
trying to
that
get around.
looks like it's on the centre guard this
I think
time.
it might be. And yes.
And what he doesn't want to do is tap it up for a 2. She hasn't. So.
However, he has.
Oh,
he
and
has
we're seeing a
conceded.
handshake. So there was a steal there, so that would have made it 10-4 to Team Milliken Johns. So that was a concession. So we've seen the concession. That will give Team Armstrong time to dust themselves down, have a bit of a debrief, freshen up, nap even.
Get the sugar levels back,
Yeah.
rehydrate.
Come back fighting in a couple of hours. So we'll turn our attention. So we'll see what Brad will be doing his best to give you some visuals of sheet B, but we'll stick around and just continue as we're into the 8th end in sheet B. We're on to second stones.
And just repeating that final score, 10 to 4 Team Johns over Team Armstrong in 7 ends.
Sheet B, we're in the 8th end now. We're Team Curl Jam have Hammer, but they are 2 down, so they have 5. They're currently on 5 to Team Williams is 7.
Great to see so many joining us on the live stream. Some are here in the commentary box and beside the commentary box with us, and obviously some locally watching from their houses here in Naseby, but also all across the globe. So thanks for joining us.
So at the moment, Team Williams over on sheet B, sitting quite pretty. They've got 2 stones in the forefoot, biting the button, in fact, behind cover. There's 3 centre guards up. But those centre guards will give Team Curl Jam hope. They can use those. I think we're going to see some taps. So in Melbourne, we call this is definitely Melbourne Ice House tactics, is have junk up front and then tap it in. So this is right in their wheelhouse, this type of tactic. Unfortunately, that one's just over curling. But still keeps stuff for them to use, the yellow stones. I think we'll probably see Team Williams try and remove some of those.
Got a timeout called?
And yeah, why not? They've actually got lots of time left on the clock, but they might as well use their timeout.
Well, especially now that their coach, Dustin Armstrong, has just finished
his game. He can walk right over from one seat to the next. Not sure he'll be in the best, but he's a consummate professional, Dustin, so he'll be able to... He'll be able to put aside what's just happened to him as an athlete on sheet C and put his coach's hat on.
He's being emphatically called out.
Yeah.
By Helen Williams, the skip. While that timeout's going on, we've got another Go Donkey, so from VP19 on the YouTube stream. So
yeah.
we will definitely have to ask Matt Panucci about that.
The Donkey fan club is alive and well.
That's right. Yeah. And Lauren, yes, again on the YouTube. So these 2 teams, they'll swap sheets. So the women will go to sheet C for our afternoon draw. So that will be the broadcast game.
That'll be our feature game
this afternoon. And Sarah, we're doing our very best to try and swap some of the camera angles. There were some technical difficulties earlier today with some of the camera shots, so we'll still continue to commentate as best as we can.
Matt's a handsome man. I have the perfect face for radio, so we'll put radio commentary mode on and try and describe as much as we can. So over on sheet B, Team Williams still sitting the 2, biting the button. One's just top tee, one pretty much square on the tee line, bisecting the tee line. A cluster of guards up front, most of them 3 yellow stones, 1 red. One of those yellow stones is half checked by a red, but the other 2 yellow stones are very usable. And Williams can see the threat that those 2 stones pose to her, so she's trying to guard the guards just to reduce options for Team Curl Jam. Trying to take away certainly the direct taps and run backs. That one over curling just a fraction, but it's certainly taken away one of the stone on the center line. Makes that a lot less usable. I think a tiny, maybe about a quarter of that stone still visible. But the stone to the left of that is still very usable for Team Curl Jam.
If you are watching on the stream, unfortunately we can't change the down the sheet camera. That is a fixed camera angle. But the overhead camera is now showing sheet B. So it is a side-on view. You'll see the skip's brooms and the skip standing there, holding there. But you will be able to see the house itself. So thank you again to Brad for being able to quickly adjust on the fly so we can see just up in that top corner, that side-on view of the house.
I'll try and describe the guard zone. In view there is one of those, they're the tightest guard. There's on the center line, that yellow stone. And then just to the left of that, as I look at it, so back towards the away end, there's another yellow guard that's sort of open and usable. There's nothing stopping it from being tapped or raised into the house. And then we have behind that a cluster of 2 red stones and 1 yellow, but they're all sort of covering each other blocking each other, they're a lot less usable for the yellow team. So I think we're going to see a bit of heat, though, from Team Curl Jam. They're actually going to, I think, attempt to hit one of their stones, one of those guards that is half checked by Redstone, but throw it hard enough to certainly propel the Redstone out of the way, where it won't do any harm, and would still give enough momentum to the Yellowstone to perhaps tap something up into the ring, to at least get something biting, something potentially canting, and clear things out a bit for them. So this looks like it's over curling a tad. I think this is going to be on the red center guard, but then that's going to go onto a yellow. So many things could happen here. Oh,
It's just missed that.
just couldn't quite hold it.
Great effort from Ann Powell and the sweepers, though.
Yeah. Still usable. The shooter that was thrown there still has a direct path into the house, onto the, certainly a line onto the shot rock. That's just top of the tee line. So and Williams will be looking to guard that stone in some way, take away options. Still lots of stones in play left on this sheet. We're still only on second throwers at the moment, would you believe? So lots of stones in play. So actually this is the first of the third stones now coming in. So both teams still have 4 stones each. So still lots to play for, lots of options.
Helen Williams looking like she's calling for the guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just plug in the hole.
Plug the hole, take away some of those raise options as well. Again, try and do more than one job with one stone. So stone efficiency. It looks a little heavy. Oh, it's coming down now. No, it's come down quite nicely, that stone. That's a pretty good stone. That it did over curl, but it had just enough weight to tick off, and it sit in a pretty good spot for Team Williams. But there is potentially a run back double on, which certainly both Westhagen and I don't know Aggie's surname, so we'll stay with first name. So Jen and Aggie both have the firepower to use some of these stones up front. So I think we'll see this from Jen. So it's risky, this, because they're running a redstone in to hit redstones, but there's potentially a double. I think the shooter would probably hang around. I think they're hoping it might go over the top and come out again, but I think we're going to see a lot of weight with this shot. The stone should probably leave a vapor trail behind it, I think.
And if it's ever so slightly offline, it'll be Ann Powell's favourite. Smashy, smashy.
I think that's wide. Wow.
It's cleared the front, but it has rolled a red into the top of the 12 there.
So that stone was a little wide. It didn't hit the intended stone. It actually clipped one of the yellows, which then set up a slightly unfortunate series of events that resulted in another Williams stone ending up in the top 12. But it has opened up the shot rock. And I think that will be guarded up now by Team Williams. This one looking a little heavy. Sweeper's right off it. Starting to come down now. This is going to come into the rings. And it is going to over curl ever so slightly, I think. So I think Team Curl Jam could see a piece of the count of the shot stone. The question is, do they throw a lot of weight to try and slash that in to do the double, or do they perhaps throw more controlled weight to get more to the nose or even on the inside of that red stone and to tap it back and then remain in a scoring position? I think with this ice they're doing the former.
As we're coming to the end of this this first draw of our best of three for the championships, we've got a little bit of movement up here in the spectators box. Some of our mixed doubles teams have just come in. So Dean Hewitt and Tyler Gill, world mixed doubles bronze medalists. They're just warming up, looking like they're going to do some a little bit of practice. I don't know if you've seen Bruce, but it looked like that Dean was using a ratchet strap to help with his stretching.
Wow.
Not a stretchy band. He's got his stretchy band out now. It looked like he was using a ratchet strap.
Next level. Just can't find a band heavy enough, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we had a nice bit of nuanced tap weight there from... I think they were hoping for a bit more of a roll under cover. But they have covered enough of that stone that to remove that yellow stone would propel it towards backing the two red stones there. So yeah, Williams can't ignore this stone. Yeah, so she's calling a third up to have a bit of a chat about it. Calling her second up as well, so a little bit of a team conference.
Still plenty of time on the clock, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's why you bank the time early in the game, so that you can have these little chats when you get to the pointy end. So, well within time here. So, Williams now going to try and deal with the yellow stone that's just been thrown. She's either guarding, I think this is a guard that's been called, just to try and plug the hole to prevent Team Curljam from using that yellow stone, because it's in a dangerous spot as if you're Team Williams. This looks like it's going to overcurl ever so slightly. That's ended up in a reasonable spot. It's taken away most of the options for Team Curljam. But still 2 stones left for Team Curljam, just the final skip stone left for Team Williams.
So just as Aggie's about to go into the hack to throw that, the first of her last 2 stones of the game. Thanks again, Iconic Lemon, looking out for the donkey. Can someone make sure that the donkey is fed and watered after the game? He thrives on cold barley soup. Not quite sure where we're going to get any cold barley soup here in Naseby, but thanks to the wonderful people at Maniatoto Adventure Park, they've just put out some wonderful smelling Naseby glog. So it's $10 a glass. I might have to give that a try after the game.
It smells divine.
It does. So, look, we might not be able to get that cold barley soup for the donkey, Iconic Lemon, but maybe he'll try some Naseby glog.
So we have a quiet weight shot coming in from Aggie. She's hoping to slash her yellow stone in. Or, yeah, just nice. She's got a great stone there from Aggie. So I think she's got second stone. Can someone tell me who's counting?
We can't see that monitor.
Okay, can't see.
Unfortunately, we can't see that.
Yeah,
which
so
one is closer.
It's hard to see from anywhere up in the lounge area here who's actually got. I'm going to say that it's red still.
Quite possibly red.
I think it's red still counting 1. But now second shot is most definitely yellow, Team Curljam.
So
Up to Helen Williams here to try and neutralise.
yeah, the real so there's 2 danger stones still for Williams. So there's 2 yellow stones here that are useful for Team Curl Jam. There's a corner guard, which could be angled in. But there's also a stone sitting sort of in the top 4 foot in the middle of the 8 that could provide an in-off, potentially. So I think Williams will probably, you could potentially put a stone in the house that takes away both options, but that would be a little risky. That would be the Vodafone shot, just a little bit high tariff. I think that could set up other angles. So I think the guard is probably the call here. This has got a bit of weight behind it, this stone. Oh, this could go through the hole. That's a great stone.
Great shot. Applause
Great
from the spectators up here.
Great stone. But I still think there is a shot there. Yeah, Aggie's all over it. There's still an angled run here that could get rid of both reds and potentially leave Team Curl Jam sitting the three that they need to win, in fact. So,
and don't worry, Bruce, if you're hearing those cries in the background, that's not the Curl Jam supporters or the Williams supporters. It's just some of our wonderful 4-legged friends that come and visit us up here in the lounge.
It sounded like somebody put ice cubes in whiskey, but as I had the fortunate situation of witnessing the destruction of a beautiful glass of Scottish single malt yesterday by the addition of 3 ice cubes in it. A terrible state of affairs.
The tension's running high up here in the spectator booth. Everyone's starting to stand, try and get the best shot that they can.
Yeah. So drama coming down to the last stone here on sheet B. There is a very difficult, but it's the only shot they've got. Sometimes you may have a decision to make, but there isn't a choice. But there is an angled run here that would give them the win. And as it's all they've got, they just got to talk about it, agree on it, throw it, and make it. Easy from up here.
Absolutely, Bruce. Absolutely easy from up here.
As we know, if those those who can't curl teach curling, and those who can't teach curling commentate on it. So. Easy game from up here, but as we know, if we, as curlers, most curlers around the world will appreciate, if you can't be on the ice curling, then watching curling with other curlers and a tasty beverage is one of our favorite pastimes. So.
Coming in with a lot of heat and...
Oh my!
Hit the first red there, but unfortunately
just couldn't quite get the angle, so they only take the one. Team Williams take the win. Pardon the excitement in the commentary box. That was exciting curling right there.
Great arm wrestle all day.
Great arm. Very 2 well-matched teams slugging it out. Team Williams takes the win, so they'll take the advantage into the second of the potential 3-game final series this afternoon. So these teams have worked hard this morning. They've used up all but 7 minutes of their time, so they've been out there a long time. Still within time, but a long old slog. They need to have a well-earned rest, some food, chat, and we'll be back in a couple of hours. Is it 2 o'clock? What time are we?
I think we're on at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Oh, yeah, of course, because it's so we're going to be back at 3 o'clock New Zealand time for the second of our final series games. And certainly for all the neutrals, I think we hope it's the penultimate game, but we'll find out. So. Well, thanks for having me up in the booth there, Matt. Thanks for joining me.
No, thanks for you joining in as well, Bruce.
And to you out there, I hope we did it justice, everybody. Obviously, we had the A team in the booth earlier, so thanks for putting up with us. And we'll be back this afternoon.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.